Today's episode is brought to you by Checkfront, the booking platform trusted by over 5,000 tour and activity operators around the world. You can start your own free 21-day trial over at checkfront.com.
Welcome to the Tourpreneur Podcast. Travel industry veteran Shane Whaley will take you on a journey with fellow tourpreneurs, sharing their tips, ideas, insights, and success stories to inspire you to make your tour business the best it can be. And now, please welcome your host, Shane.
And welcome to Tourpreneur at Arrival, presented by Checkfront. We are joined today by Todd Kersey of iOutdoors. How are you, sir?
Wonderful, Shane. Glad to be here.
Fantastic. Tell us about iOutdoors.
Wow. It's a dream that came true, right? So iOutdoor is a outdoor adventure company. We mainly are in the boating, water type sports. We do everything from fishing charters. We do inshore, offshore, freshwater. We do boating tours. We do especially pontoon tours. We do for the bachelors and bachelorettes. We do special tours for them. We do sandbar tours. So if you've got a bikini you want to put on, we got a tour for you.
Right. Well, you said the magic word, fishing. I love fishing. I don't get to do it as often as I used to. So, and is that all around Florida that you're running this?
So we're in 5 states and 240 locations. It sounds a lot, but we're talking about cities here. I don't want everybody to think I'm all over the world. But yeah, it's so, every city, Orlando here is a big hub for us, but we're all the way up to Pennsylvania on magical Lake Erie, one of the greatest fisheries. It's really fantastic and absolutely beautiful too. And then it goes all over. So whether you're in the Florida Keys or you're in the Panhandle and Destin in the summertime with your family, we can hook you up.
I understand you took Peter Syme out Sunday, is it?
Yeah, we took Peter and all the guys from Checkfront, right? Yeah. And a bunch of great people here. And it was a good time. Got him to sunrise and to see what Florida's all about. Right?
Yeah, I saw his photos at 6 a.m. He's on the boat. I was like, wow, fantastic. So when did you get started?
Probably 22 years ago, right?
Wow.
It started, but it was a part-time thing. I think like a lot of people in this industry, you don't know what you've got, what you don't. I've never hired a fishing charter in my life, didn't know really they existed. My grandfather and my uncle fished, so that's where the addiction came from, right? And I'd fish and see these captains out there, and one thing led to another, and here we go. And of course, it's been slow, steady growth. You can't compare what we have today to the road we traveled to get here, right? Just like every small entrepreneur, you're working out of your bedroom, you're digging in the weekends, you're working Sunday night, to make your dream come true.
Well, I would love to invite you back on the show because this is a 10-minute espresso shots, and we can't cover 22. No, we can't cover 22 years in 10 minutes. But I have a lot of questions I'd like to ask you about that. So, in terms of being operational in all the locations, so how does that work then? You work with the local skippers, and you have a network. How does that work for you?
Yeah, so everybody is employees. We call them employees, and it's really about people.
Yeah.
So I've had some people here at the conference ask me, like, how'd you get your growth, right? Like, what's the magic, right? Everybody wants that magic, right? Honest to God, I've heard people my entire life, you read the success books and all that, and they always talk about people. I'm like, tell me. You just don't want to give me the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
no, they want you to pay $10,000 to go to their seminar.
I didn't know. Yeah. So, but what happens when you grow it and you get good people, you realize it truly is about people. 22 years, we've got about 275, pushing 280 people. We've only had 3 people leave the company.
Wow.
We love our people. We support our people. We realize people are humans.
Yeah.
We realize that people, including ourselves, right, have up and down days. We have learning curves. We have, drastic things that happen in our lives, right? Maybe it's a divorce, a loss we're there for our people. We don't discard them.
Fantastic. Well, got lots of lessons for us there in a future episode. So over the 22 years, what would you say has been the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in your business?
There's multiple, but I'll make a couple little quick ones. One is, and I think it's the same thing a lot of small entrepreneurs are struggling with, is how do they step away? Right? I was the guy on the phone.
Yeah.
Every person that called wanted to talk to me, right? I'm like, we're going to go out of business if I don't answer the phone, right? And my wife's involved. So my wife and I pretty much run the show. And so she worked for the cruise lines and then came over once we built it enough to work with me. And she's like, listen, I got to get that phone. I'm like, look, these guys aren't going to want to talk to you, right? Lo and behold, a year later, nobody knew who I was. And you realize that you can step away. And so I've used that as every area in the business now, right? That you find managers, you find people to maybe even do it better than you did it. Yeah, that's one of the main
It's our
ones.
baby, right? It's hard.
Oh, it's hard. It's probably one of the number one things most tour providers struggle with, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you say it. Today on the daily brief that I send out, I announced them having a 2-week
I read
break.
it all the time.
Thank you. But I'm like, oh, no, I'll keep doing it when I'm on holiday. And people are like, no, you need a break. And people will understand. No, they won't. They might unsubscribe. And it's like, no, you got to, like you say, it's really hard to step away, isn't it?
Yeah. And they come in the email, obviously, right? And, especially at conferences like this, you don't have time to read them, right? Yeah. But I always put them in there. I flag them, and then I go back and you comb through them, so.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Our biggest win we felt with CheckFront is customers being able to book online and not have to make that phone call to us. And they can just navigate our website, go through your interface, and just book directly with us.
Once we get into it and once they see all the system can do, it's quite funny because you kind of see a world open behind them before them, and they're like, oh my God, and I can send emails, and I can manage how many people come, and I can check them in.
I'd recommend using CheckFront because it's simple, it's straightforward, it's easy to use, and most importantly, there are never any problems.
What does your distribution mix look like in terms of OTAs and different channels?
I started early with SEO. I learned it. Entrepreneurs always ask me, or young tour providers always ask me, what do you do? I said, listen, you necessarily don't have to pay for anything. Everything is free on the internet. Get on there, learn. YouTube will tell you anything and everything you want to know.
Yes.
And so I learned SEO, then taught it to, more people. And so we get 74% of all our business from natural SEO listings, no PPC or nothing. It's incredible, right?
Wow.
We're only like 1.5% OTAs.
1.5%.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people green with envy listening. Yeah. So I'm hearing here at Arrival, some people 70, 80, 90% of their business.
I think we're going to grow that side. We're working on it, but I'm also cautious, and I got a lot of tips if we want to go into one day about how to do those listings on the OTAs.
Definitely.
And how they don't conflict with your natural content, right?
Yes.
I think it's overlooked. So we're very particular about what we give them, how much we give them, and, why we give it to them, right? I think people forget that we own the business. And we should be able to regulate that for our good, right? Not for theirs.
Yes.
And listen, I love the OTAs. I'm not an OTA hater here.
Yeah.
But I think, what's good for our business, right? So if we're going and launching a new area, sure, I give them some products because, listen, their data and everything is going to help me evaluate the area much quicker, right? So, and if we have failure, why not let them take half of it?
Yeah, absolutely. What booking platform do you use?
We use CheckFront. That's an interesting story. So over these years, and I'll make it really briefly, but we've been on 7 systems.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I know it really well. I know all the technology. I won't mention them. We have several of them built out, and for one reason or another, they didn't work, right? I think that's what's really important is that each system really works better for one entrepreneur or another based on your resource management or front end or back end. And CheckFront just works, and people ask me why, and there's one word I always come back to in technology and supportive of the business is reliability. Yeah. They are spot on. We never have the slow little circle that you get on your phone when you have a bad, you get a slow spill. Just never. I mean, like 3 years, I think they've been down for like a minute and a half.
Wow.
So reliability just counts for a lot for me.
What's the best piece of business advice anyone has ever given you?
There's a couple. One that I always go back to is real simple. A business sales guy told me, facts tell, stories sell. And still today, it's worked with my employees. It works with the customers. They don't want to hear a price. They don't want to hear the name of a tour. They want to hear what the tour is about, right?
Yeah.
Or they want to hear a result. Somebody asks me how I grow something. I don't give them an answer. I got to give them a story because stories impact people and they embed in your brain, right? There's something about them that we're all going to remember.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Very good advice. Yeah. What's your biggest frustration about the industry today?
Wow. I would say real quickly, probably, everybody at a different level, I think, has one, right? That's what I'm seeing especially at the conference here. A person with 4 kayaks has a different frustration than we do and vice versa. For me, I think it's, for lack of other words, a marketplace, right? Like, I think at the place we've gotten, we can help a lot of small providers, but the connectivity is not there to share, and because of the time consuming trying to get on the phone and share, it's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if technology was there when we needed it, everybody could support each other. It would be an incredible system.
Yeah, absolutely. How many rivals have you been to now?
All of them.
So how does
I didn't go to Berlin. I'm
okay,
sorry.
yeah. How does this one differ from the other ones you've been to? Other than it being in the great state of Florida, of course.
Of course, and the weather's just gorgeous. We were just talking about that, and I think, I've been to many conferences and went to Vegas, and I love Vegas, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And in Orlando, and it's just a different atmosphere, right? So people bring their families. I've talked to a ton of people that are staying here for the day or another day or two and going to Disney. It's very family oriented. There's tons of food. There's, it's not the hustle bustle like Vegas. It's just different. Both are great places.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us today. Where can people find your tours online?
Yeah, so go to our website, ioutdoors.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. Great to meet you.
Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Tourpreneur podcast. Be sure to visit tourpreneur.com to join the conversation and access the show notes, including links to the resources mentioned on today's episode. This is Tourpreneur.